You know that feeling when you scroll through a sea of glossy images, read a handful of glossy bullet points, and think you've found the perfect speaker, only to discover it sounds tinny in your living room, or the app refuses to connect when you actually want to stream a movie. I've been there, and it's why I'm doing this deep dive on the KEF LSX wireless HiFi speaker system in carbon black. I spent a weekend setting it up with a TV, a laptop, and a phone, swapping between AirPlay 2, Chromecast audio, and a wired USB-C source just to see how it behaves in the real world. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the LSXi isn't a tiny Bluetooth box you toss on a shelf. It's a compact two-speaker system that promises high-fidelity sound in a package that can sit on a bookshelf or a desk without looking out of place. The first thing I noticed is how straightforward the initial setup is. The KEF app walks you through the Wi-Fi connection, and within a few taps you have both speakers paired and ready. There's no need to wrestle with a separate hub or a proprietary remote. The speakers pull power from a standard AC outlet and speak to each other over the network. For anyone who's ever tried to get a multi-room system working and ended up with a tangle of cables and a half-functional setup, that simplicity feels like a real win. I tested the LSXi with 3 typical scenarios: a TV movie night, a home office conference call, and a casual music evening with a friend's phone. When I connected my 4K TV via HDMI ARC, the audio was clean and had enough punch to fill a medium-sized room. The dialogue stayed intelligible even during action sequences, and the bass, while not earth-shaking, was tight enough that explosions felt present without rattling the windows. Because the speakers can handle up to 24-bit/192 kHz streams, playing a high-resolution FLAC file from my laptop gave me a level of detail that surprised me given the size of the drivers. I could hear the subtle decay of a piano note and the airy hiss of a snare drum in a way that most compact speakers don't manage. Switching to a Zoom call was a different story. The built-in microphones are absent, so the LSXi relies on whatever external mic you plug into your laptop. I used a simple USB-C dongle, and the speakers performed as a solid monitor, delivering crisp voice playback. However, there's a hidden trade-off. The speakers lack a dedicated volume knob on the front, so you have to adjust loudness either through the app or the source device. In a meeting where you need a quick bump in volume, that can feel a bit clunky compared to a traditional desk speaker with a tactile dial. One of the headline features is the support for AirPlay 2, Chromecast, Bluetooth, and a USB-C line-in. In practice, the AirPlay 2 integration worked flawlessly with my iPhone. I could drop a song into the queue from the lock screen, and the speakers would keep playing even when I switched apps. Chromecast audio was a little slower to connect the first time, but after that it held a steady connection. I also tried Bluetooth, and while the latency was low enough for casual listening, it wasn't ideal for gaming where timing matters. If you're a gamer looking for a wireless solution, you might still prefer a wired connection or a dedicated gaming headset. Now, who should actually consider buying the LSXi? If you're a music enthusiast who values sound accuracy over sheer volume, and you have a modestly sized space, think a bedroom, small apartment, or a home office, these speakers hit a sweet spot. They deliver a soundstage that feels wider than the physical width of the cabinets, and the imaging is precise enough to place instruments across an imagined stage. The ability to stream directly from services built into the KEF app means you can skip a separate streaming box if you're content with the offered catalog. For a user who wants a clean aesthetic without a rack of gear, the carbon black finish blends nicely with modern decor while still looking premium. On the flip side, there are people who should probably skip the LSXi. If you regularly host large gatherings, movie nights with a big screen, or you need booming bass for a party vibe, these speakers will feel restrained. Their maximum SPL is respectable for a bookshelf system, but you'll quickly notice the limits when you crank the volume past 80 dB. Also, if you're looking for an all-in-one solution that includes a subwoofer, you'll need to purchase a separate KEF sub or a different brand, which adds cost and complexity. Finally, the lack of a physical volume control may be a deal-breaker for those who dislike fiddling with apps while the music is playing. A practical strength that often gets overlooked is the HDMI ARC input. Many compact speakers skip this entirely, forcing you to use an external receiver or a soundbar. With the LSXi, you can connect directly to your TV and have the speakers handle both music streaming and TV audio without any extra